Welcome back. Well, a good time to get in Jai Bala of Cash the Chaos to help us out with some view on the markets as well as individual stocks. Jai, let's get straight to the stocks then. What's the stocks that you're bullish on? I believe Zydus as well as Britannia.
Yeah, that's right, Nigel. And, the FMCG index, I've been saying that it's got a pending high to come through, but, it's come a bit deep. So, it's worth considering Britannia. I've been saying Britannia and Nestle are likely to do well, leaving out ITC. So Britannia's setup there is, it's both these stocks and have a little bit, downsides to work with. Post that, Britannia might recover to all-time high of 5,600. Zydus has got a little more work to do. It's shaping into a very important, short to medium-term pattern. The stock can climb past 1,600. I think it's putting in a medium-term bottom. And it's likely to go to the highs recorded in 2022. I'm afraid Zydus level is 1,600, or I'm not sure about exactly. I think it's 900. I'll just I'll look at that and let you know.
The metal sector is critically poised, according to you. Could you explain that? And what's the trade?
Yeah, that's right. Metal sector as well as the small cap index and the mid cap are having a very similar structure. And if the metals index were to break down below 7,400, that will mark a significant trend change and be the beginning of a medium-term correction. So, and so most of the stocks within the space have already topped out or beginning to top out. And that's the reason why I'm bearish on JSW Steel and Vedanta out there. And JSW Steel might be the top candidate if 7,400 were given for Nifty Metals Index.
Okay, that is Nifty Metals. Jai, just to talk about the view on any of the PSUs from here on, even if it's PSU banks. I mean, you did mention that SBI, I think, is looking the best of the lot. But would you recommend any fresh trades in banking? Given the technical structure right now?
The banking sector remains the weakest, barring the PSU names. And, it's PSU, within that PSU space, SBI still got higher highs to come through. And I was expecting SBI to, finish this move around 690, 700, but it's pushed a little higher and still continues to remain an unfinished move. But the fresh higher highs that I'm anticipating for SBI may not be too far beyond a couple of days high. So that's the reason why it's an avoid. And the banking sector, is likely to break down below the January low of 44,429. Once it does that, it'll seal the deal for the bears.
This it's been extremely zigzag, right, Jay? No real follow through so far. But you think that it'll resolve on the downside? That's how you're leaning overall.
That's right, Prashant. The markets have been prevaricating and they have not given a decisive breakdown on the frontline indices. But the internals are pointing to an important change. If you look at when we look at the market's movements from how many steps it makes to an important resistance or support, and the key sector auto is actually, from an intraday perspective, on the hourly time frame, it's come down in 5 steps. So that's a very important change. That's not happened in a long time. But none of these key sectors have broken down below significant support. But the clues are such that they are likely to break down below the key level. The most important thing for the Indian markets, in my opinion, is probably the 5-year OAS swaps. For the last 2 sessions, it's been holding significantly above the 50-day moving average. And that's a very important signal when it comes to the rate cycle. And the markets which haven't taken notice of an important price action is the German 10-year bonds. The Bunds have clocked a higher high in a long time, and it's signaling that the decline that started for the rates from the October levels is coming to an end, and probably anticipating a higher CPI print for the US markets.
Any thoughts on Reliance Industries?
So Reliance is what is keeping the markets higher up, and I've been saying for several sessions now that the index managers are keeping Reliance up so that they can keep the markets up. So Reliance has got an unfinished move towards 3050. my sense is that it might be the major top for it, but we still need to see the markets clock higher highs for Reliance, and probably in the very short-term time frame, it's likely to pull back towards 29.20 or slightly lower, and then go to record highs. So once that is done, I think the markets will start to top out.
You know, I just want to pull up Taj GVK. What a move it's seeing. I mean, we were talking about travel, tourism, hotels. You know, 230 when we started, stock was at about 310. It's moved 40 rupees higher since. Look at that. That's a sharp move higher on a stock which is already up about 50% in 2024 so far. So that's a very, people have been highlighting the big valuation gap between Taj GVK, EIH and Indian hotels. And this one coming through very strongly. Any thoughts on Taj GVK or any of the other sort of hotel names?
Well, Taj GVK itself is a fantastic breakout, Prashant. You know, it's likely to continue from here on. You know, it's a big breakout on the monthly time frame too. So, you know, I would say, you know, this is likely to see somewhere around 500 plus. But, you know, you should place a stop below 280. That's a very important level. But, you know, I think it could be much bigger than that. So Taj GVK is breaking out on a multi-time frame level.
All right, Jai, thank you very much. Good to have you on the show as always. By the way, that's a nice